If he can go from being LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and fall off to James Harden, I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what he wants to do, this is just me being in LeBron's head, but I think he wants to have every stat that exists. And I just have an inkling that that's what he wants to do. Also, I think there is some truth that he wants to play with his son, which I don't know how good his son will be collegiate-wise and all of that. But he does have dreams and aspirations of being the GOAT. I don't care what anybody says. I think that's a part of his DNA. Why do you wear number 23 if you don't want to be better than number 23? So,
you know what? I think that's overhyped. That portion right there, the jersey part. The reason I think that's overhyped, Ben, is this. I wanted to make major leagues, of course, but I wore number 44 because I idolized Reggie Jackson, and I transferred it over to football. And every sport I played, I wore number 44. And I wasn't saying I want to be better than Reggie Jackson. It was just Reggie Jackson was the reason I played baseball. So I was like, hey, he's lefty. I'm 40. He's 44. I'm 44.
True.
I don't think. Yeah, I think that's a bit overhyped. Like, hey, man, LeBron James wanted to be better than Mike. So I don't know.
I think that may have been his goal at one point, being better, having all the stats and all that. But I think if you've seen that video of him hanging out at during this offseason, he's like dancing on a boat or somewhere where he was. I don't know if I've ever seen him that happy. Now, he's not even in the playoffs, which I've already said I think he needed a break. I think he needed, I don't know if I'm saying he wanted, but I think he needed a break from being in this whole run towards the finals and having to think about what's going to happen and all of that. But I think maybe that was his goal at one point, and I think now it's kind of changing. He's a family guy. He has things outside of basketball, so it's not as if he has to do this, and I think he's maybe past the point of I got to try to prove something to somebody. But deep down, I still think he may have that inkling, like I could still possibly get all these records because I mean my body isn't completely, my body's not going to slow down or it's not going to be ravaged by the time I get there. So
I would agree. I mean, I'm a big time LeBron James guy, though. Unlike most. Most people are hating him and everything. I like him, man. I mean, I like his independence, and we of course know the money aspect. H-Rob loves the money, but
players getting paid.
Right?
They should.
Right.
It's only right. This is the thing, and shout out to Melvin in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Kev, Clutch Talk, Sports City's back in the building, but they are the ones that's putting their body on the line. I have this conversation with a coworker at work. Like, they're the ones putting their body on the line. The owners aren't doing this. The GM, the coaches, none of these people are doing this. Unless they happen to get ran over by a guy who's running into the sideline for some reason. But these guys put their body on the line. Imagine if they get hurt. You look at the linebacker from Pittsburgh. Imagine if he didn't have that long-term contract or if he didn't have a good organization. I think Pittsburgh handles their players well. But imagine if they were just like, oh, well, sorry. We don't have to give you anything. You got hurt playing a game that you chose to play. And that's how it ends up being for them. This is their livelihood. We go to work Monday through Friday. They work Saturday, every Saturday for a series of a year. So they need to get what they deserve, and what they deserve, we cannot dictate that as much as we want to.
Right. Like, look at the way, it really bothers me the way they're doing Dak. I really don't like that, because if Matthew Stafford can get paid, Dak Prescott should get 3 times the money Matthew Stafford is getting.
Facts. Stafford has not won anything. Nothing.
He's stealing. He should show up on payday with his back to the clerk and never let them see his face. He is stealing.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like, oh man. Another thing I don't like the way they talk about Dak. I'm actually going to talk about it on my show tomorrow. It's the way when he didn't have weapons, he wasn't doing well. Well, you know what? It's only like 5 guys in the league. You know, over the last 20 years, it's only been 4 or 5 guys that can win without talent, like Elway, and then Elway, Marino, Rodgers, Brady, and then the rest of them needed weapons. So to say, oh, well, look at this guy. He's winning without weapons. Yeah, okay. Only Moses can make brick without straw. So stop it. You know, I don't have nonsense.
Yeah, no. It is. And the whole thing is, like, we love, as sports fans, we love to say, get rid of this guy. But then when you ask someone the question, well, who's going to replace him? Most people do not have an answer because they only want to get rid of the person, but they don't have anybody to replace him. And there is not a person that can replace Dak that is available that can immediately come on this team that is going to be better than him. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you get some kid out of college who's played a great college career. College and NFL is not the same thing. So exactly. And he's gonna get paid. It's Cowboys love Dak. I don't care. They're not gonna let him walk out this door, especially if they paid Romo that much money. They will pay Dak.
Yeah, another guy was stealing. But I actually like Tony Romo, but you know he stole a couple checks too. Though I can't.
He did, and now he's getting paid money being the commentator that he is as well.
Yeah, and if you could predict plays that well, Tony, you should have been hitting those wide open linebackers. But
that's true. That's true, and that's why the most average players end up becoming, you know, mostly great podcasters, great sportscasters, great coaches. It's just kind of because they're in the book more than sometimes the star people are. So,
I have another question for you. Since we on the Cowboys, since we live in such a statistical driven society now, is it possible that Tony Romo goes into the Hall?
I would say no. I don't think he Cowboys wise, he has a lot of stats. If you pull him outside of the Cowboys, I haven't looked at the stats myself, but I have looked at, you know, passing yards and touchdowns and stuff like that. He's not there. He's just not there. And now he's going to be in the Ring of Honor for the Cowboys and all that, but
yeah,
Hall of Fame, I don't think there's enough on paper. What do you think?
I think maybe, man. I think it's a better chance for him going in than not.
Okay.
Reason being, okay, don't get what I'm about to say confused. I'm not saying he's on their level, but he's won exactly what Dan Fouts and Warren Moon has won in the NFL.
Good point. Actually, great point, because neither one of them have a championship.
Right. Warren Moon never even played in a championship game. Now, that was 85% due to racism, but but at the end of the day, he didn't. It's like Warren Moon, and I'm looking at Tony Romo. About to look up Tony Romo's career numbers now. But just to see. But I was looking at it and I was like, Dan Fouts never won anything, and he's. And then, but you still.
I still don't understand that to this day. The one year he was about to go to the Super Bowl, he lost in a game. You ready for this? In which the temperature was 35 below zero. 35 below zero?
Yes.
Wow.
Cincinnati Bengals, 1981. That's how they end up going to the Super Bowl, the 49ers' first Super Bowl. Ken Anderson and the Cincinnati Bengals, they beat the dance out them and 35 below zero. Those guys are standing out there with like bath towels wrapped around their faces.
Wow.
I've heard them say the ball felt like a brick as they attempted to catch it.
Yeah.
So
that is a good point. Now, here goes the stats. Here goes the stats right here. I don't know
I
if you
just got them up. 34,000 yards, 117 touchdowns. No, 248 touchdowns. So he got a pretty decent. He got a better touchdown interception ratio than I thought.
Yeah, 32 all time in passing yards. Now let me say a couple of people above him. Jay Cutler is above him, and we all know Jay Cutler is not going to. Jim Kelly.
Jay Cutler's in the Cutler Hall of Fame.
Above him, we have Jim Kelly. I believe he already is a Hall of Famer.
He is.
McNabb, Boomer, Flacco, Stafford, Unitas, Joe Montana. Dan Fouts is 16 all time, so that's probably another reason why he's in there. Drew Bledsoe is at 15 all time. Did not know that. Vinny Testaverde.
Vinny Testaverde got more than 40,000 yards back.
46, 233. The guy that's played for nearly half the teams.
Yeah. He played for everybody, that uncle.
Right. Carlson Palmer, Matt Ryan is at 12. He's pretty high. I didn't know that. Now, Tarkenton, Warren Moon, Elway, Rivers, Eli, Big Ben, Marino, Brady, Favre, Manning, and Breeze. So it's not unheard of that, because below him, let me also say this, below him, Steve Young he's won a championship. He's in the Hall of Fame. Troy Aikman is below him. Kurt Warner and Sonny Jurgensen. Those are people that are 35 and
Sonny
below.
Jurgensen. Yeah. Sonny Jurgensen would beat Tony Romo.
Yeah. So it's going to definitely be a debate. The Greatest chimes in and says Romo was hurt by playing with a weak defense for many years and was forced to throw many passes and took chances. He did take a lot of chances.
And no running game.
Yeah, he had the most average running game. What he had? Marion Barber, who had like one good season, and that wasn't even 1,000 yards. Julius, what was that guy's name?
Barbarian.
Yes. And they had Julius, what was that? His brother
Julius
played at
Jones.
Virginia. Julius Jones, 1 year. Felix Jones. The names did not add up. I mean, and none of those guys are anywhere near Hall of Fame caliber. So,
man, Sonny Jurgensen is only 5'11".
Man.
I never knew that. Not that we should have known it, but it's like, wow.
It's crazy when you go back and look at stats, because you can see all these people you didn't expect were there. But that's a great question. Chat room, where you at? Tony Romo in the Hall of Fame? Give me a yes or no. I'm leaning towards no, just for the fact that it's not that he didn't necessarily get to the big game, but there was just so many inconsistencies. And you could say the team around him, but again, a lot of people that didn't have a good team around them not going to be in there either. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll get in or not.
Better way to pose that question on a different day is to do what I did with Kurt Warner about 10 years ago. After he retired about 10 years ago, he may have been on his last season. I asked my buddy, I said, hey, would you put this guy in the Hall of Fame? And I read him Kurt Warner's statistics. And he was like, oh, hell yeah. And then I was like, well, would you put Kurt Warner in the Hall of Fame? He was like, oh, no. I say, those is Kurt Warner's numbers.
That's how you do it. That's how you get somebody.
Yeah, because if once someone hears Tony Romo, they're going to go, oh, no way. But if you read his numbers to somebody, I bet people will go, and